Alrighty, welcome back to Super Sentai Review episode 458. Yeah, this is the first of about 3 in a row, basically, for Sentai videos where I'm discussing 3 episodes. But basically, at this point, there's not many more episodes to go for Ninninger. Nope, not many. Basically, with the completion of these episodes, I only have 10 left to go for the whole series. Like, really? 10? Yeah, 10. Here I'm discussing episode 35-37. 35-36 is a two-parter that's a follow-up from episode 27. Because, this is interesting. For the previous episodes, from 28-34, there is no mention of this at all. It's like, because it was, anybody watch 27, Kane got slashed in the arm by the Yokai Wolfman. And now it's taking effect 8 episodes later. Why in the world they decided to wait a little while for this? I have no idea. It is by far one of the most strangest things. Yeah, and I do not have an answer for that. It's just quite baffling, to say the least. Yeah, it's just... Yeah, I don't really know exactly of what took so long when it comes to basically follow up the story. So, by the way, the episode, this two-part focuses on Naka and Keen. So, if anyone watched share reviews, he basically criticized the series for having where the Red Ranger kept stealing people's episodes. I've been watching this show for 37 straight episodes, and you probably think, oh, does he actually steal other people's episodes? Not what I've seen. None of the episodes I saw where the Red Ranger basically takes over someone's story. Not really. Yeah, he may get some attention, but he's not taking over the story. Not really, though. So, in order to free Keen basically just happens to find, of course, reviewing this episode, the Fox is in fact alive after somehow surviving the destruction of his own mech from episode 32. How he survived, it's not very clear, though his mask that he has, because basically, because we're all wearing a mask, has a scar across the eye. And that's the only battle damage he receives because he hides in her cloak for a bit and then he reveals, oh, he's perfectly fine, aside from the scar itself. So Keen just happens to run into him. This, of course, is a follow-up from 27. Excuse me, where, like, okay, so you can dry out the power, but you have to use the Demons or Arasu, which Naga finds about it too, thanks to look up the scrolls about it. So he follows him, and apparently this sword is kept in an office building. Also, the chief retainer is tasked by the madam to go look for the Fox, which he does. And he actually summons a basically advanced yokai in this episode. Oh, yes. And here's something quite interesting about the guy who voices this particular yokai. Yeah, this is, of course, the third in a row of the advanced yokai that we've had in the show. Because for the previous, this is going to be the last one for Low. This actually was the third to last one in the entire show, because we've not seen advanced yokai into episode 40. So this one in particular, Yokai Amaru. Actually, the next one basically is like this, where basically, get this, he's powered by a power strip and he basically is Centipede. Now, does he become a part in Kaka Ranger? He does. Akamaru, who's also a Centipede monster, except his basically was a football one. And he came toward the end of the show. That one. Yes. And this guy does have a counterpart in Power Rangers, Voltabeat, and he appeared in one episode, just like he did this one. Yeah. So, And basically, the chief retainer proceeds to cast like a maze of doubt, and the whole thing is trying to like get rid of doubts, anyways. So then the Fox then Kinemon and Keen fight Demon Sword in a box full of sports equipment. Why the heck the sword was there for is never very clear. And then he just hides it, doesn't mention he has it. Like he's given the sword, like, oh, return your friends. And then of course the Fox, and of course it's kind of the chief retainer, like, oh, basically the whole thing was just a game. Of course they mentioned about all the monsters that was destroyed. It's like, what was the purpose of basically summoning these particular ninja yokai, and then just sacrificing for them to form basically a mech that no one knew he had? It was destroyed basically in second appearance, this damn thing. He said it was all a game, and he's like, oh, my only goal is to revive the master. Okay. That's not exactly clear. It's not exactly a reason why you decided to basically make this freaking mech in the first place. Maybe got the idea from Last Ninja, I'm not sure. So, then they of course defeat the centipede monster. Then Keen thinks that, oh, because the thing has the power to absorb yokai power, which it does, but apparently it also grants special power, which of course it proceeds to transform into the Wolfman yokai. And then of course they get the sword away from him, and they try to keep the sword away from him throughout the entirety of 36. Then we see illusions of various monsters that he fought throughout the course of the show. Yes, because in this, we bring back, in this illusion sequence, Yokai Intamanman, as an illusion, is in his brief return. There's also Yamawara, Yakaba, Fukutana, Ubaza, Yokai Ona, and I think that's oh wait, they do bring one of the advanced yokai back as illusion. Nay. Yep. And the whole thing is like, oh, we're all you, including the Wolfman yokai. And then of course he hears the Last Ninja's voice, and then, by the way, also Last Ninja confronts Izamon, which was interesting. He's like, I never expected to be confronted by you. And you think, oh, it's a madam? No, it's the Last Ninja. Like, wow, yeah, this something was not expected. I think this is only like in present day, only like his second or third interaction with him the whole show. And then of course Sword gets away from him, and of course Keen, and after defeating the illusion yokai, then the sword transforms into the technology-based sword that the ninja use, except this one's red, and gives him a power boost to where he's now superstar ninja. Yeah, but basically it's kind of like those like Western garb type of thing. And also in 36, they show off another advanced yokai. Yokai Agarara, basically a cannon theme, basically cart cannon theme monster who doesn't fire the cannon, surprisingly. Yes, and just by sheer coincidence, he does have a counterpart over in Kakaranger, and it's a taxi monster. Yeah, the taxi yokai. Yep. And he only appeared in like one episode. Now, here's something interesting about his voice actor. He's played by Kazi Yao. Those of you not familiar with this guy, this is the guy who just retired from voicing Frankie for 20 years. Yeah, I did look this up. This was his last original character he voiced, because apparently, I think like the next time he did any kind of voiceover work was when he did the 30th anniversary movie for Kakaranger. Let's see. Yeah. He came back for that one. I believe that He came back because this is during the year because he had to retire because the man was in poor health. Yep, that was him. Yeah, that was the last time. So basically, in a way, sadly put, I'm pretty much done with his voice of work in Sentai. Yep, all started when he voiced Ninja Man from Kaku Ranger, and then he voiced 00 Bolton from Car Ranger, and then it was Kickboxer Babaru from, not from a main show, he's actually from a movie. Yes, who actually debuted in the movie Time Ranger vs. Go-Go 5. There is Hades' Ultimate God, Drake from Magi Ranger, which, by the way, there was like a 5-year either doing voiceover work. Then it was Western Ashu Tribe King, who was a villain throughout the later half of the show, for Bokenger, which came just not long after that. And then we have the character Dr. Z from Akaba Ranger, which I actually have not seen this yet. That's probably something I missed, but the main show, yeah, I'm pretty much done. Then it was Dabo Naragroski. Yes, a monster appeared in several episodes. He appeared in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 episodes. Yes, 5 episodes he appeared in. And by the way, that was in like his last appearance on Q Ranger. Q Ranger was in 2014. The episode where this yokai appeared was, I think, just a year later. I think it was. Yeah, it was 1 year later. And this was, sadly put, the guy's last time he did any kind of voice work for Sentai for 9 years. Until he did, of course, Ninja Man in 2014. He, of course, did a little bit of... Now, he did do one thing for Kamen Rider, and that was the character of Toma from Go Rider. Those of you curious, yeah, it's basically a character who appeared in one of the spin-off stuff for... he's a character, he mostly appeared in X8. He apparently also did some Metal Heroes work too, where he was in Beta Roa Kabatek. Yep. Now, apparently the story I've heard about him is that his health-wise, the man basically is like, he's in very poor health. That's why he's had to retire. And it's sad the fact he had to retire, but the guy had a great career, voicing a lot of really good characters. I mean, I love Frankie. Yes, I have heard his sub and dub voice. And I really enjoyed his dub work as Frankie. It's sad that he had to step down, but it probably was the right time for him to go. At least Patrick Stoltz still voicing the dub. Let's hope he doesn't quit. Yeah, I hope not. So, they do in fact defeat this. This particular yokai is basically made from the bones of those giant bone monsters. Yes, and then for the first time since episode 26, we bring back the normal yokai, which is interesting. For those of you asking, why the heck would they bring back this for? I have no idea. Oh yeah, and also this guy has a counterpart over in Kaku Ranger, and it's the guy with eyeballs inside of his freaking coat like he's a peeping Tom. And he appeared in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 episodes. You're like, what? Oh yeah. I think in the case of Power Rangers, I think he appeared once. Yeah, he appeared in like actually 1, 2, 3, 4 episodes. Heck, they even used him for freaking for Zeo. Yeah, except this guy was completely different. It's like the whole thing with this one was like, oh, he's basically a keyboard. So basically, oh, because of how it basically is like going through a really bad crisis. So let's basically bring kids into video games which they did use as also, I think, for Kamen Rider Black, if I remember correctly, though this was way different than Black. Though, that's apparently the B plot. The A plot is simply, it's Naga again, where he's focus character again for the third straight episode. This is where Keen was basically co-starring for the previous 2 episodes. Naga here, he's like, trying to study his career for college, like, become like Last Ninja. Apparently, no one knows what that is. So, what's it like to be the Last Ninja? Ask the actual Last Ninja. So, this is interesting. So the Last Ninja proceeds to put him in a video game, which I think is a little weird given how old he is. Like, I saw them using technology, like wait, what, really? A man this age uses technology. Yeah, I found that quite perplexing, but I guess basically he's up with technology. There's some, my grandmother basically is, she's not used to modern technology very much at all. Yeah, that's the thing with senior citizens, that they're not exactly up to date with modern technology. They tend to struggle a lot more with people younger than they are. So then the whole team's put in the game. So, and apparently the game is inspired by the game Dragon Quest, which the only time I've heard about the game is from complaints of why the creator of Hunter X keeps taking his frequent breaks from the series. Like, some delays due to back problems, other due to the fact he keeps playing Dragon Quest. So basically, set on a journey to gather 3 keys and find the end Shuriken. So, here's basically what everybody dressed up as. We have Taka dressed as a hero. We have, I think it's like, let's see. I know that Keen is dressed up as a warrior. I know that. And Yamo is dressed up as a mage. That's obvious. Pink. Fuka is a... I think she's supposed to be a priestess. Well, Katsuma is an elf. Yes, an elf. Which I'm like, is that just a stereotypical trait when it comes to elves? People think they're archers. And Keen's outfit here, oh my gosh, it's weird. Like, Sage, dress Yamato as a wizard with a frickin' staff. The priestess, the staff. Yeah, I'm looking at the staff here. This is a repainted staff from Cow Ranger. Yes, for some weird reason they decided to take the staff of the one who basically makes monsters grow and just repaint it red. Because I'm looking at this thing like, yeah, that's the I thought that was kind of weird. Yeah, and him with the hero thing with the cape. Yeah, not all the time. Basically, heroes wear capes in fantasy stuff. Not all the time. Usually, they're just. Yeah, I think they put him in the cape because why not? So yeah, basically they, and then we have 3 grunts show up. It's like, oh, it appears or it's nearing. So they eliminate. And of course, they find the first key, and it's found by Taka. He finds the first key, and then of course, we have this monster who's actually not a monster, but a prince basically turns into a monster. So they turn back normal and get the key of kindness. Then they get the end Shuriken, but I think you reset the game anyways. Then the keyboard monster shows up and tries to everything. Then all of a sudden, because Naka has good conviction, let's basically give him the key of conviction. So, and then using become supposedly end Shuriken, and then proceed to destroy the monster there. They go to the real world, which looks like the same factory area that Gokaiger went to in their show toward the end of it. Yes, I saw this industrial, like, wait, did it happen to go to the same industrial areas from Gokaiger from the later half of the show? Yeah, they were here a few times throughout the show. They were even here for the Gokaiger vs. Spaceship Gavin. Yeah. So then they destroy the monster, and then we see Keen at the end of the episode just walking out of someplace. Where is he gonna go? Don't know. But next episode should be interesting because there is a Super Sentai legend returning next episode. Who is it? You'll find out next who comes that one. So, that is pretty much it for the video. Please be sure to like, comment, subscribe, turn notifications. Next up, we have a review for One Piece. And then, well, actually, I might just say the other one probably for the other one after the next review, okay? Yep.